Hello and welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. I'm of course your host, David Alpine. Helping right there is my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins. And on today's episode of the Prime, we're going to be previewing the Western Conference Finals. and we're going to talk about the offseason for the Phoenix Suns and for the Golden State Warriors, as we saw some juicy stuff going on in the National Basketball Association. Before we get into that, just want to say happy Mother's Day to all of those mothers out there, including my mother and TJ's mother and Izzy's mother, Matt James's mother, Christian's mother. Yes, all of everybody's mother here at the Prime, and everybody that checks out here at Prime Sports World. Happy Mother's Day to all of y'all. We very much appreciate you guys checking us out, and thank you for all our mothers for everything you guys have done for us. But yeah, happy Sunday, TJ.
Happy Sunday. Now that we got all the sentimental stuff out of the way, I know you ain't want to touch on it, but it'd be ignorant of us not to. Ja Morant, you're an idiot. You are an absolute idiot. Like David said in the group chat that he didn't want to include it in the show, but no, like this has
the only reason I didn't want to include is I didn't have graphics built for it.
That's fine. That is fine. That is fine. You are an idiot. Like, why? Like, Dave, I'm gonna ask you this question. I'm gonna ask you that, right? And it's a facetious question. How many pro ball players do you think own guns, legally or illegally? How many pro athletes do you think own guns?
I think a majority of them.
How many do you see flaunting them?
None of them.
How many do you see waving them around?
Not a lot. And if they are waving them around, they're not in whatever pro sport. Like Damon Arnett basically threw his NFL career in the toilet because he flashed a gun during one of his Facebook lives.
Facebook Live, IG Live, whatever it was, right? He went live with that video. They said, all right, dude, we're washing our hands. Like, you were pretty much out the door anyway. You just helped us out. Bye. Now, the Memphis Grizzlies have released a statement saying we are aware of what the situation of Ja Morant's social media activity. He is suspended from the team. He is suspended from all team activities. We have no further comment. The statements are getting shorter and shorter. More trouble he in, the shorter the statements get. You know what that means? We getting tired of your nonsense.
Oh, 100%. I think we're definitely getting to that point. Yeah, it's one of those things where like I just don't understand like why you need to feel the need to do this. Like, why do you feel the need to do that? Like, you have your whole life set up as long as you can just keep yourself like if future generations. Like, you've already acquired future generations' wealth. Like, you know, I don't know, man.
And like when he got suspended the first go round with the strip club incident, what did I say about his dad? It's time for you to stop being his friend, stop being his boy, and start being his dad. This is when that's when you were supposed to sit him down and be like, bro, you are not a gangster. You are not a thug. You are a professional athlete. Now, if you want to be a thug, you want to be all that, retire. Leave the NBA behind and go be a thug, go be a gangster. But obviously you don't want to do that because you wouldn't have focused on making the NBA.
I mean, the Memphis Grizzlies have made a big substantial investment into his future growth, right? I mean, they've given him the rookie max. I mean, they're paying him like upward of $40 million a year.
Like you a signature athlete now. You got your own shoe coming out, and it's like, bro, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Like, the math ain't mathing to me.
I mean, I don't know really what else needs to be said. I don't get the decision making behind what he's been like, any of it really. Like, why do you have to put that stuff on social media in the first place? Like, what do you gain by putting that stuff out there? Not a lot, right? Like,
absolute nothing, bro.
I mean, if you're just trying to flash your wealth against people that really don't care, I mean, what is the purpose of that? I mean, like, people, like, that's what happens a lot with people on social media. They just flash because they think they have to show off that they have stuff. Like, people don't care.
They really don't. They really do not care, bro. Like, it's I don't get it. Like, so you add this on top of the strip club incident, on top of
the Foot Locker situation,
right on top of the you fighting a high schooler incident, on top of all the nonsense you talked
Yeah.
before the season, during the season, and
Let me ask you, John Brad. He's still good in the Western Conference?
you need to ask him, hey bro, you still good in the NBA? Because he finna fuck around and find himself not in the NBA. Like
100%.
seriously, I don't. Okay, I got that out the way.
Yeah,
Let's go.
we'll talk about that a little bit more as we get into the offseason. Let's talk about the Western Conference Finals matchup. We got the 1 seed Denver Nuggets going up against the 7 seed Los Angeles Lakers. Records right there on the screen, 53-29. I don't think that Lakers record is right. I'm going to look it up. Nuggets eliminated the Suns in 6 games. The Lakers dispatched of the Golden State Warriors in 6. The Nuggets and Lakers actually split their season series. There's Nikola Jokic's numbers on the screen right there, followed by LeBron James. Let's just talk about this. So, what's the intriguing storylines that you're following when it comes to this particular series? Because it is a rematch of the bubble Western Conference Finals from 2 years ago, and relatively a lot of the pieces on most of these teams are relatively the same, with some injured, like some pieces, here and there, kind of switched out. Yeah.
Well, obviously, I think the bigger one is the front court, right? Like when you think back to that first matchup in the bubble, Joker had to see AD, he had to see Dwight Howard, and he had to see JaVale McGee. The Lakers don't have that depth up front anymore, right? So if AD gets into foul trouble, who you gonna throw on Joker? Wenyen Gabriel?
I mean, yeah, but he's really tiny. Like, he's not a big man.
You gonna give Tristan Thompson more than garbage time minutes? I don't think so.
I doubt it.
Right. So
I mean, looking at their roster, like they have Mo Bamba, who's injured and barely plays. Jared Vanderbilt is the only other big that plays legitimate minutes. I mean, they just don't have depth at the 5 position, and this is kind of one of the things we talked about, with other teams going up against this Nuggets team. If you don't have, like, Jokic is going to get your big in foul trouble. He's just too skilled. It's just what happens.
And the only thing the Lakers can say is that AD can actually challenge him on the defensive side. Like AD is gonna make Joker play defense. Is what I'm saying. What I was trying to get folks to see about DeAndre Ayton in the Phoenix series was I wasn't asking DeAndre Ayton to match Joker. We already know he can't do that. But can you make him work on defense? That's like can you make it hard for him? Like, bro, like you're more athletic than him. Joker should not be beating DeAndre Ayton up and down the court. Joker was beating DeAndre Ayton down the court. All right, but this match, so obviously is like the main concern is like who's guarding Joker. We got all that. And the front court I'm curious as to how they come out, the Lakers, how they come out. Like, so is it going to be D'Lo and Schroeder, or is it going to be D'Lo and Austin Reeves?
I imagine they will start the series with D'Lo and Austin Reeves, and because they only made that switch at the latter portion of that Golden State Warrior, where they moved Jared Vanderbilt out of their starting lineup and started Dennis Schroeder and started a really small lineup against Golden State. I imagine that they will do. I think they'll have Jared Vanderbilt start at the 4, and they'll move Dennis Schroeder back to the bench.
No, I think they're gonna do the first one because Nuggets starting five. It's Murray, KCP, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Joker, right?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, if I'm the Lakers, I'm going D'Lo, Schroeder, at least at the go. I'm going D'Lo and Schroeder. So Schroeder, you're gonna start off on Jamal Murray. D'Lo, you're gonna take the lesser matchup in KCP.
But I think the problem comes with the Aaron Gordon matchup when you talk about that particular. Like, I just don't think, even if you have, I don't think Austin, if you have Austin Reeves check MPJ, I think maybe, and then you put LeBron James on Aaron Gordon.
Man, hold on. If they throw Austin Reeves on MPJ, hey, you getting MPJ giving, hey, bro, you better get 30.
That's why I say I think they're going to start Jared Vanderbilt at the power forward position. I think he'll guard Aaron Gordon, at least in those early stages of the game, to keep Aaron Gordon from getting into rhythm. Because
Oh
Jared
yes, yeah.
Vanderbilt
So
is an
yeah,
elite defender. They
so
may even flip that around. They may even have
yeah,
Jared Vanderbilt check MPJ, and they have
so
LeBron
yeah,
guard
yeah,
Aaron Gordon.
yeah. There you go. So D'Lo, Schroeder, Vanderbilt, Bron, AD. That should be that's gonna be the five for the Lakers. And the best part about it is Bron and Vanderbilt they can switch off guarding MPJ and Aaron Gordon. That's still a small starting five though.
It is, but I mean, Jared Vanderbilt plays bigger than his size. He's a lot like Draymond Green. He kind of plays the power forward position, but he's way undersized. I mean, he might not even be 6'6", 6'8". I mean,
Who Jared? No, Jared Vanderbilt. He about 6'7", 6'8". He just little,
he's just framed. He's just so tiny. He's 6'8", but he's not. He doesn't have a lot of weight to him. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But I think the real problem is like when we start talking about the depth at the Lakers, especially at the big man position, like at the power forward and center. I mean, Rui Hachimura is probably their best bench player that comes up and like plays legit minutes at like either big position. And Rudy Hachimura is not a
well, it depends on it depends on how it depends on the starting rotation, right? So if Austin Reeves is coming off the bench, then you have is Austin Reeves better than Rui?
I mean, based on the play I've seen out of Austin Reeves so far in that Warrior series, especially in Game 6, I mean, that Austin Reeves fan, he came out ready to play.
And if Austin Reeves starts and Schroeder comes off the bench, is like who's better between Rui and Schroeder?
That's Schroeder. It's not close,
right? So in this situation, in my scenario, Schroeder starting. So I got Austin Reeves and Rui coming off the pine. It's closer than people. I think it's closer than people.
Well, I think the nice part is if you do decide to do that, I mean, you have I don't know who KCP is defending in that situation. Like, I think you put kind of put KCP in kind of a bind. Like, who is he going to? If you start Russell and Schroeder, who's KCP checking in that lineup?
That's the beauty about that matchup. Both of them, like Murray and KCP can take turns switching off on both of those dudes. Because obviously, one of the things the Lakers may not want to admit it now because they've gotten better, but for a while there, they missed KCP because of his defense.
I mean, I think that's one of the big reasons that the Lakers made that in-season trade, like before the deadline, because they missed those kind of like
those dudes.
The Kyle Kuzmas, like the KCPs, like those valuable role players that they basically. So they traded, those valuable role players for a quote unquote star, and that just didn't work with the rest of the roster because it weakened the rest of the roster. But now you trade away Russell Westbrook, you bring back role players, and they just fit better on the roster.
Well, it was that, but let's not also forget that while you added Russell Westbrook to this team, you also added guys like Rajon Rondo and Pat Beverly to this team, and expected it to work. Like, so everybody's like, why couldn't Russ do what he did with the Clippers on the Lakers? You wanted Russell Westbrook to attack the cup and kick out to Rondo and Pat Bev spotting up. Other teams were like, yes, please do that. I would love.
Oh yeah, because Patrick Beverley and Rondo aren't exactly the knockdown shooters, but I mean, Austin Reeves he's become such a valuable role player on this team. To the Nuggets on the other side, because I feel like we're talking a lot about the Lakers, but their depth I think is somewhat questionable, especially at the guard position, especially since they're not playing Reggie Jackson right now at all. Whenever I watch Christian Braun,
I think this could be the series.
I would be giving Reggie Jackson more minutes than Christian Braun. Like, whenever I watch him play, he just doesn't seem ready for the moment. Like, I know they probably want him to just get minutes, and like, I just don't. You know what also is funny about this? Thomas Bryant, right? He basically requested a trade from the Lakers. He was like, "Oh, I want to play more." I don't think he's touched the floor in the playoffs this season.
Yeah, I always said, like, I will never understand why coaches shorten their rotation in the playoffs. I get it. You have quote unquote more downtime in between games, but you really don't, because it's basically the same thing. Like, you play a day, rest, play the next day, you get 2 days off to travel to the next city. and then you repeat the process.
I mean, but Thomas Bryant wasn't playing much in the regular season, anyways. I mean, the Denver's basically playing the guys that they would normally play. I mean, outside of Reggie Jackson, I'm not sure how much he played in the regular season. I don't watch a whole lot of Denver, but it doesn't seem like he played much.
He was a buyout. He was a buyout, and just yeah.
But I mean, outside their bench, the only players on that coming off their bench that I really trust is Jeff Green and Bruce Brown, and that's really it. I mean, I don't. Zeke Naji, he's fine as a backup big, but he's nothing special.
He's not playing.
Christian Braun, I would be giving. His minutes are just I don't know, and they don't have a backup small forward. Bruce Brown plays backup point guard and small forward. It just
and you play him. And Christian Braun is he's young, he's wiry, he's the he's an energy guy. Like he's he's an effort guy.
He does shoot it at 35% from the 3-point line.
Well, there you go.
In the playoffs. He's only averaging 2 points, basically 3 points a game in the playoffs.
And what 7 minutes? 7 minutes.
He plays about 14 minutes a game in the playoffs right now.
He ain't played 14 minutes in the second round, so they got to fix that. He did not.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he played 14 minutes in Game 6. He played 20 in Game 5.
14 minutes in Game 6. Oh, the game where they blew them out by 30 points. That game.
He played 20 minutes in Game 5.
How many in the first three? The first
four. Game 4 he played 8 minutes. He played 10 minutes in Game 3.
Wow.
16 minutes in Game 2.
Wow, that's
breaking. He's breaking the bank here.
Right.
He played 14 minutes in Game 1.
Yeah, no.
All right. Yeah. I just whatever. But I think their depth is going to be somewhat concerning for me, especially if Nikola Jokic gets in foul trouble. We kind of saw that in that Suns series. I mean, he's the only consistent. Like Jamal Murray and MPJ kind of go through spurts where they're super effective, but they kind of disappear at times.
Yeah, this gonna be a big series for him, for Aaron Gordon and MPJ. Like Joker has gotten to the point where it's like, dude, we know what we getting out of you. Like we expecting the triple double. We're damn near like we're disappointed when you don't get the triple double.
Also, welcome to the show, Mr. Israel Rivera. Happy Mother's Day, my friend.
What's going on? Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
All the mothers out there. Like, bro, like everybody was ranting and raving about Devin Booker, how he was going crazy. And then like somebody was like, just to remind y'all, Joker's averaging 37, 11, and 9. Like everybody wanted to talk about Devin Booker. Oh, Devin Booker going crazy. Like, do y'all not see what?
Where was he? Where was he at Game 6? I mean, Jokic is putting up a triple double. Booker's got 6 points, 12 points in the game.
Do y'all not see what's going on over there?
Let's talk X factor on both sides of the. So, what's the X factor for both these two teams?
Who is my X factor against Phoenix? Wasn't it Michael Porter Jr.? Yes, it's the same thing. I'm MPJ. Bro, people like he's not like he got paid too. He got that rookie extension too, right?
I'm actually gonna go Jamal Murray in this one. I think Jamal Murray, if he can,
he gotta be consistent,
sensational. If he has a sensational series like he did 3 years ago in the bubble with this team, this current roster that they have right now. Oh, I like the Denver Nuggets chances.
I'm going to go Aaron Gordon. I think his value on the defensive side of the basketball is going to be extremely important in this series. He's probably going to get stuck with the LeBron James assignment. How he fares in that assignment to keep him out of trouble. Because as I mentioned earlier in the show, this Denver team doesn't have a lot of depth. Like outside of Jeff Green and Bruce Brown, I don't trust any of their bench players. If Aaron Gordon,
that's why they should be playing Reggie Jackson.
They should be. I just literally talked about this.
That's why they should be. They should be.
I'm not finna sit here and act like the Lakers are. You know, they got a deep team either because
they're way deeper than this Nuggets team.
Are they though?
Yeah. If we go to their
Lonnie Walker came out of nowhere.
If you look at their bench, there are at least 4 guys on their bench that I trust coming in. Like Rudy Hachimura, Lonnie Walker, Malik Beasley, Dennis Schroeder. That's those 4 guys. I still like him. I know he doesn't play.
Beasley, so why'd you bring him up? He doesn't play. So you just contradicted your own.
If there was a scenario where he had to come in, I would feel pretty
Malik Beasley ain't played since.
Because,
hold on, Malik Beasley ain't played since Game 4 against Memphis, bro. Like, be
I know, but if Malik Beasley had to go in, I'd be like, yeah, that's all right. Let's go.
He ain't going in.
If Coach Michael Malone wanted to go deep in his bag in the bench to kind of spell some of these guys and throw bodies at some of these guys, he's got them. He's got them. Because look, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr.
Dust off DeAndre Jordan.
DeAndre Jordan to stick AD to get Joker some minutes. Like Reggie Jackson's another ball handler and then we got Zeke Naji played well in the regular season. He's been buried as an afterthought in the playoffs. That's another body, a small forward that you could throw out like a LeBron James just to give you fouls.
He's listed as their backup 5.
Right. And then Christian Braun has been playing some minutes as well.
He's gonna play a lot this series.
So if he wanted to go deep into that bench, he could very much.
No, but I'm not feeling. No,
I'm still sticking with Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon's my X factor.
Aaron Gordon's gonna get it, but he's gonna need some help because he's not the defensive stopper that you think he is.
Well, I mean, he did a pretty solid job against Kevin Durant.
I am wholehearted. KD still averaged 30. He still averaged like 31.
Yeah, but
LeBron's gonna get his regardless.
Could have been even worse if Aaron Gordon had played pretty solid defensive.
Hey, I'm not gonna sit here and act like again the Laker bench is just they're deeper than Denver. Are they really though? Are they? It's like Rui, who comes and goes. Lonnie Walker had the one good game, and all of a sudden,
two good games. He was pretty good in that closeout game.
Everybody was good in the closeout game.
I want to paint something because I didn't get a chance to talk about the series in a whole. But the last time these guys faced in the Western Conference Finals in the bubble, which was 3 years ago, this was pre-Jokic MVP. So he was on the cusp of he was turning into an MVP caliber player because Giannis won the MVP that season. The next season, Jokic did win it. This is a totally different player than what Anthony Davis was used to facing in that series. It's a lot of beef. It's a lot of skill, and that's 7 games you got to guard that dude.
It's a lot of big men slapping man meat.
I am telling you, man. And Jokic is a guy. He took that personal. He's gonna take this series personal against AD, and they're gonna go at AD as much as possible.
Those other 2 dudes ain't there. Dwight Howard ain't walking through that door to help guard Joker. Yep. And JaVale McGee ain't walking through that door to help guard Joker. So, and we already know AD will do it. AD will do it, but we already know AD hates playing the 5. He'll play it.
He hates playing big man.
He hates playing the 5. Mo Bamba out there with a bum ankle, Sergio. He is not playing. Sergio,
I said dust it off Tristan Thompson.
No. I've made that comment to people on social media. Like AD does not like playing the 5. He does it because he has to. If he could play the 4, he would. Those other 2 guys, when they made their championship run in the bubble, gave him some comfortability because he wasn't able to. They were able to play the 5. He wasn't able to play the 5 against a true center, against a guy that could have won his 3rd MVP this season, arguably. Right, yep. One of the best players in the league. So AD is one of the best players in the league too. But I mean, that's going to be a lot for him to take. I mean, Jokic got size on him.
Let's talk X factors for the Lakers.
It's the bench. It's the bench for both teams. Sergio brings up a good point. He's like, in my opinion, the key to this series are which role players will step up. It's both benches for both teams. Seriously, the starters. We know who's gonna the starters for both teams. We know what we getting out of the heavy hitters. We know what we getting out of Brian. AD, I'm still kind of, but AD showed his ass in that series because he had to. Like Kevon Looney and Draymond Green on their best days still can't stop AD. And we saw that. Like, it's about damn time. Right?
I mean, he had 20 rebounds in that closeout game. Like, he was...
that's what I'm saying. It's
don't show up in the box score, bro.
It's about I was tired of the game 1. He's fantastic. Game 2, it's what the hell was that? Game 3, fantastic AD. Game 4, what the hell was that? Like it was like the odd numbered games. He was a
He
beast.
can't do that this series.
He cannot do that this
No,
series.
he's got to be. Anthony Davis has to be the best player in the series for sure if they want to win.
He has to be the most consistent and best player in this series for them to even.
Nuggets win the series if
Nuggets win the series if
shit. I mean, the Nuggets win the series if golly, if Jamal Murray has a great series, but all those other guys like KCP shoots it well, Michael Porter Jr.'s got to shoot it well, Aaron Gordon's got to play well. He can't just give me 10 points. He's got to give me at least 15.
No,
I need at least 15, 16.
I need the KCP that showed up in Game 6 that came out the gate gunning. I need that KCP.
We need those role players to show up for Denver. But man, I'm not worried about Denver, man, because they're a great road team too. Like for what Golden State couldn't do, they couldn't steal the damn game on the road in game game 3 or 4. They couldn't steal the game on the road in game 6 and the closeout game. Denver will steal a game on the road. Denver will blow you out on the road.
Yeah, but the Lakers actually won more games on the road than Denver this season.
Bro, you saw that cup. Hold on, wait. You saw the cupcake that the Lakers finished with that road schedule towards the end of the season, bro. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, no, that's real. I don't care. I don't care about the Lakers having. They could be a good road team. Bro, the Denver Nuggets are a good road team, bro. They're a good road team too.
They played the Utah Jazz like 4 times in the last month of the season, like, and 3 of that shit was on the road, bro. I ain't trying to hear
you're
that
playing
shit.
against a team. You're playing against a team that is way better than the team on the road that you just played. So your concentration at home has to be top notch because Denver will blow you out and laugh at you while they doing it. So don't let them steal a game. Is what I'm trying to say because this series will be over with in 6.
Well,
so I don't see them losing at home.
Let's talk about the other side. Lakers win the series if Anthony Davis is the best player in the series. That's how they win the series.
That's the cut. There we go. Sweep it because I'm pretty sure TJ gonna say the same thing. Because if he's the best player in the series, they win in the series. Point blank. That's it.
I'm gonna add a caveat. I'm gonna add a caveat. D'Angelo Russell he ain't got to match Jamal Murray, but he can't get outplayed.
So that was actually,
if you get anywhere between like 15 to 20 from D'Angelo Russell and like damn near double digit assists, yeah, D'Angelo Russell got to come with it.
That was actually gonna be my X factor for the Lakers is the 3 ball handlers that are consistently, Dennis Schroeder, Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo Russell. Those 3 guys bring it like they did in Golden State. They'll be in good standing against the Denver Nuggets.
So let's talk about who wins this series. Prediction.
I'm gonna just go Nuggets. I'm not gonna pick a game. No, I'm just saying the Nuggets gonna win.
I'm going Nuggets in 6.
I'm taking Lakers in 6. I think Anthony Davis will be the best team player in this series. I think they win in 6 games. Moving on from there, let's talk about what's next for the other team, the team that didn't advance. And boy, do we got some drama cooking up in both of these scenarios. Let's talk first about the Phoenix Suns. Also, my condolences out to Mr. Matthew James as their radio play-by-play guy retired. So hopefully you're doing okay with all that. But yes, they also fired Monte Williams.
Yeah, I thought you was gonna talk about like a death or something. You talking about this guy retired? You should be congratulating that man. Shit, he done put in the work. Hey, you're on the beach now, buddy.
Anyway, so yeah, Monty Williams got fired yesterday around 10 o'clock. They have some decision makings to make when it comes to Chris Paul. His contract's only half guaranteed for this season, not guaranteed at all for next season. DeAndre Ayton, possible decision on maybe a trade for him. They have CBA problems because of their contracts on their books right now. They actually are not even eligible for the mid-level exception. So they're pretty hamstrung on what they can do. What should the Suns do this offseason?
Well,
they also do not have a first round pick.
Well, we know that because we gave it up to get Kevin Durant. To all the people that said like they should have kept Mikal Bridges, no, they shouldn't have. Shut up. Like literally, shut up. You don't. I know it's a joke and all that other good stuff, but please shut up. Like the whole KD can't carry a team. Shut up. Like barely played 30 games. He probably played that with this team.
I mean, Kevin Durant for sure did his part during this year. Everybody else on that team, outside of Devin Booker,
was trash.
Literally gave you nothing. Like you
Like,
got
if
nothing. Chris Paul was hurt. DeAndre was basically unplayable. Like they had Jock Landale playing more minutes than DeAndre Ayton. Jock Landale was like an undrafted free agent.
No,
bro, he was giving you good viable minutes too off that bench. Like
DeAndre Ayton couldn't stay out of foul trouble. Like this is a team that now has some serious decisions to make, and
no,
like,
the whole
they're limited.
Yeah, they are. Now the whole Monty Williams thing, I will wholeheartedly admit that probably caught a lot of us off guard. Like we were not.
I didn't see it coming.
Okay, then, what was there? My bad.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
What was David? You tell me this. What was their record with Kevin Durant on that team?
I mean, I don't think they lost.
Good, wasn't it?
They didn't lose a game, right? They were undefeated.
No, they was pretty damn good in the regular season.
Yeah.
I say this. You got a whole season with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, man, he's getting up there in age, and I mean the injury issue. You might have to look at a guy like see about a Russell Westbrook or see about somebody else that maybe a Reggie Jackson. Get a younger point guard that's going to be on the floor.
I think the problem is, so they're not going to have a mid-level exception because of the new CBA. So they literally cannot bring in anyone this offseason.
That's their problem. But
same thing with the Warriors too. I mean, they're not going to have a mid-level. Like their roster is what their roster is. Like they have no flexibility whatsoever.
First thing, you have some good head coaches out there. You got to go find you a head coach, right? You just fired Monty Williams. Nick Nurse is going
to get this job. I promise you.
You think so?
Yeah. I think Nick Nurse is one of those
good ass head coaches
really good X and O guy. I think that's one of the downfalls for Monty Williams. I don't think his X and O's. I don't think he was that good in the X and O department.
He had some good ass plays for DeAndre Ayton. I mean that.
So
you know that in the finals, you know. I mean, but anyways, go get you a head coach first and then figure it out. Then after that.
So Monty Williams, all right, what led to the firing? I don't know. Maybe it was the failure to utilize your bench. Maybe it was back-to-back years in game sixes. You get your ass kicked. You ain't lose.
I think that's what lose.
You didn't lose. You got your ass kicked twice at home, bro.
So I think, correct me if I'm wrong about this, but I saw somewhere in his stat that like they were down by 32 in this game. They're down by 35 in the game last year. Both of those are in the top 5 deficits in a game where you're a closeout game at home
before halftime.
Yeah, so like their team just didn't show up for the game that was the season, and I think that was his undoing. David,
it was 81-51 at half against the Nuggets, right? It was 57-27 last year against the Mavericks. Remember, because everybody was talking like Luka outscored the entire Suns team by halftime. That's insane. And also, why is everybody throwing salt on KD? Like Devin Booker didn't pull a Houdini act himself.
Yeah, he scored 12 points in a closeout in an elimination game. You can't have it.
I'm not finna like I get KD the superstar, but I'm not finna let them folks skate by with Devin
Booker. Devin Booker, like he gets all of this praise, but when he doesn't play well, like he seems to be like immune to criticism. He's like Kobe guy. We can't criticize.
Look, Campaign gave y'all 31 points. That was a gift from God.
Campaign had
you just didn't take it. And you didn't take advantage of it. Like he gave you 31 points. Devin Booker got to show up. I mean, I don't care. Kevin Durant showed up at 23 points, 8 of 19. Devin Booker didn't show up. Landry Shamet, where the hell were you? You were making all those threes the other night in the closeout game as well. So they definitely.
To David's point, they was calling Devin Booker light skinned Kobe. Devin Booker this.
Jock Landale was 5 of 6, 13 points. I mean, I totally agree with you about Devin Booker in that closeout game.
You got to
bring out the 40-pointer.
Like you want to be a superstar, you want to be labeled a superstar, you want to be labeled this. Okay, and now Izzy, we're Bulls fans, right? We're like, well, all three of us Bulls fans. For a minute there, what was the comparison? Zach LaVine to Devin Booker, right? They was both good players on terrible teams, putting up big numbers that didn't mean squat, didn't mean a damn thing. Why we started treating Devin Booker like he's been this winner this whole time?
100%. I think it's because they went undefeated in the bubble, and it's all just
like literally 3 years ago, they won 25 games.
Ever since the bubble, they've been talking about
the year before that they won 19.
So let's talk about let me ask you something. Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, which do you think either of those two guys will be on this team next year?
No.
DeAndre Ayton, no. Chris Paul,
no. No.
I don't think either will be. I think Chris Paul could get waived because his contract's not fully guaranteed, and if you free up some cap space, about $15 million with the cap space, DeAndre Ayton I think will get traded. I don't know what his value is right now. It's probably pretty low. But I think he will get traded. Dallas makes a lot of sense. They have a first-round pick they can trade. They could trade Tim Hardaway Jr. and like Dwight Powell, which doesn't seem like a great return on investment. But that's what his value is right now, for real.
Well, we already know what they want, and we already know what they want in that situation. Like Kyrie Irving is going to one or two places. He either going to LA or he going to Phoenix.
I would be legitimately shocked
if he goes to Phoenix. just because, hey man, look man, I'd be cool with them trying to get a Russell Westbrook on Phoenix.
I don't see Russell.
I don't hate that either.
If they can, because he's durable, he's gonna play, and what he just did in the playoffs. And him and Durant look like they
against
you.
Against you, by the way. Like he did that against you.
Let's move on to the other team on the graphic. Let's talk about the Golden State Warriors. So Draymond Green has a player option. He can decline and become a free agent. Klay Thompson is extension eligible this offseason. Let's talk about their young players not really developing. That Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, obviously, Wiseman is no longer on this team. Jordan Poole really poor in the playoffs, especially in that closeout game. He basically had 4 fouls before halftime. Was really ineffective in that game. Then this is another team that has another new CBA problem. They're not going to have a mid-level exception. They're basically hamstrung a little bit on what they can actually do this offseason unless they blow this up. Is this the end of the dynasty?
Probably not.
No.
Like when you say end of the dynasty, I think people mean like the end of Steph, Clay, and Draymond, right? I think that's what they mean. That when you got something like that, you want to ride it as long as you possibly can.
I think they've rode it as long as they could.
No, don't do that. No, because look, you've already been hearing stuff in the organization that they're probably not going to break it up just because you haven't really seen a steep decline in Draymond Green and Klay Thompson's play. Steph Curry's still a top 5 player in the league.
This is the first playoff series that they got eliminated that wasn't in the finals under Steve Kerr.
You're gonna have that. The San Antonio Spurs used to go back and forth with the Lakers back in the day. They used to get eliminated in the conference finals or conference semifinals. So it happens. It happens. You just ran into a team that was better at the moment. They were hotter.
I think the difference is. I think it was a bad matchup. But one of the things that
the road woes,
the difference here is you had Tim Duncan and those guys all taking pay cuts to continue increasing that roster. Steph Curry didn't take a pay cut. Klay Thompson hasn't taken a pay cut. Draymond Green is not expected to take a pay cut.
They're not going to.
That's why these rosters, and then with the CBA the way it is now, they're not going to be able to continue to add players like this.
You know what their pay cut was? You know what their pay cut was? Klay Thompson sitting out 2 years due to injury and them getting all them damn high draft picks.
None of them have made. None of them have made a.
They're not. No. The reason why they're not paying. Because they have to play. Steve Kerr is not playing these dudes. You're not playing these dudes. You have to play Kuminga. You have to trust Moses Moody. He did trust Moses Moody in the playoffs.
And when that game was already over, like Moses Moody got playing time when the game was already a wrap.
Moses Moody has been playing. He's been playing 20 minutes.
He was playing.
Yeah, he's been playing 20 minutes in the series.
But therein lies
significant minutes.
therein lies the problem, right? Like if Moody develops a little bit more and Kuminga develops a little bit more, they have no issue saying, "Hey, Clay, Dre, thank you for your services, but we're going in a younger direction." You don't think they would have loved to have had James Wiseman in this series against the Lakers? You don't think they would have loved it?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Like,
I
like,
feel
like,
like
do you know how much of a like you go from
I just feel
Kevon?
like go ahead, bro.
You asking Kevon Looney and Draymond Green, who are basically undersized, to guard AD.
Not basically. They are. Let's just-
To guard AD. Go ahead, Izzy.
This would have been a like this year would have been okay if you're gonna lose in the conference semifinals. At least lose with your young guys like Kaminga and Modi getting significant minutes off the bench, or even keeping Wiseman. I know that you made a trade or whatever the case is, but at least if you're gonna lose this year and you guys had these road rolls that you weren't gonna fix, you guys weren't a good road team. You guys
What was
didn't have
11?
it all started. It all started, bro. Honestly, this stuff all started in the offseason when Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole.
Absolutely.
That caused a rift in the team.
So,
and
Izzy.
that caused friction in the team.
So,
You could see
Izzy.
it all season long.
Izzy,
Next
to
year,
your point,
they're gonna have to figure that stuff out.
Izzy, to your point, here's what makes that even worse, right? They're not mad that Draymond punched Jordan Poole. They're mad that the video got leaked.
Yeah.
That's what they're mad. So like that's what they really mad about. They're not mad that Draymond punched Jordan Poole. They mad that we all know that Draymond punched Jordan Poole.
And Steve Kerr also. Another thing, Steve Kerr, you have to make adjustments. Some of them damn plays that you were running, that you were working in the finals, LeBron, he didn't played you so much already. He's got the scouting report on your plays. He's telling you your plays in the middle of the game, telling guys where to go. This is why the Lakers had success against the Warriors, because Steve Kerr just didn't make those necessary coaching adjustments to change it up for Golden State.
Hey,
but it all started in the offseason. The road roll started in the offseason. This year, next year, you have to play Kuminga. You have to play Moses Moody. If you want to win for the next 4 or 5 years, do you think Greg Popovich didn't want to? Do you think Greg Popovich wanted to be like, okay, Kawhi, we're gonna sit you on the bench? No, he had to play Kawhi because he understood that playing Kawhi was gonna win him a championship, because this is our future. Even though he didn't stay with y'all, he still helped y'all win a championship. You have to play the young guys. If you knew that you were gonna lose,
almost two.
No, I mean, if you were going to lose the conference semis, you should have played your young guys. You have to develop. That's the only way they're going to play. Why do you think James Wiseman wanted out? He wanted minutes. He wasn't getting minutes. They keep putting him in the G League. It's not because he's not putting in effort. It's not because he's not figuring out. It's because it's the trust in these guys. Oh, I trust my veterans. They're going to play. They're going to do the right thing in the right situation than the young guys. That's the point of having young 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. You have to let them learn. You have to let them learn, dude. And if you're not going to let them give them the experience, then I don't know what the hell you're doing there, then, dude.
And that's but hold on, like that's one way to look at it. On the other hand, is this right here. I have two of the greatest shooters. I have the two greatest shooters ever. Draymond is going to be a Hall of Famer. I am in, as long as I have these three components, my championship window is now. So you're asking these young players to basically grow up and grow up fast. I ain't like championship teams. We've seen it. We ain't got time to hold hands and coddle and be like, "Come on, guys, you'll figure it out." No, we about business. We about winning. You want to be coddled? Go to Detroit. Go to Orlando. Go to them. Go to Houston. Go to them young teams that let their young players run around and one rep shot and don't win nothing. They put up big numbers, but they don't win.
And Kuminga was playing more in the regular season than Moody.
Kuminga was playing more in the regular season, and then all of a sudden
he switches it
I don't
because
get
he
that.
needs more 3-point shooting. Because he needs more 3-point shooting, and Moses Moody hits it at a higher clip than Kuminga.
But at the same time, what else did you need?
You were putting Moses Moody on LeBron James.
But
LeBron James was eating that matchup alive.
It was.
You got to put a guy like Jonathan Kuminga, who is uber athletic, that can stay in front of a guy like LeBron James, that could possibly give him fits with his length, his athleticism. The adjustments
And
weren't
I
there.
understand.
You
I
have to play the
understand.
young guys.
I have a Draymond Green will not be on this team next year. There you go.
I don't think Jordan Poole will be on the team either.
He wants a max. He wants a max. He's gonna opt out. Come on, he wants a max.
Yeah.
He's not gonna get it.
I think Jordan Poole gone too. Like I understand they maxed Davis, like they maxed him out. So what? Money don't mean nothing. We've seen that. Money means absolutely nothing. Like
I mean, they'd have to trade. I mean, they'd have to either trade him somewhere or waive him.
I don't know about you, David, but like we've seen incidents where teammates get punched, and one person always leaves. Like either the person that did the punching,
well, we saw that firsthand. We saw that firsthand.
Or the person that got punched.
Within one season, both those guys were gone.
No, but check this out. I actually like the idea of them adding a guy like a Jaylen Brown if they can. I know he's due for a supermax. But if you could try and swing that trade with Wiggins and Poole to Boston and get a Jaylen Brown, I think that works out really well because that frees up a spot off the bench for Moses Moody to play more, who seems like he's a good team character guy. Dante DiVincenzo's there, I think, another year. You got Kuminga that frees up another spot for him to play.
I think if Boston were going to extend Jaylen Brown, I just can't imagine they would extend him and then trade him away. Like I just can't imagine that because he's only eligible. He's only because he's not eligible to sign that extension anywhere else. So he would literally have to Boston have to be willing to give him the extension and then trade him somewhere else. I just can't imagine that's going to be a thing.
Okay. You know what, David? I'm so glad you are not a GM. I would you hamstring yourself with having $600 million tied between two players. Be my guest. I'm not finna do that, bro. I'm not finna give Jaylen. I'm not finna give Jason Tatum $319 and then have another $295.
I never said they should give Jaylen Brown that extension, but I just can't imagine a scenario where the Boston Celtics were going to agree to extend Jaylen Brown while signing and trading him somewhere else. I just can't imagine it.
Jaylen Brown fits perfectly with the Golden State Warriors. That's all I gotta say. He fits perfectly with the Golden State Warriors.
He's a better version of Andrew Wiggins.
Yes. And like I said, you get rid of Poole. They're gonna want Poole. You free up a spot for Moses Moody to play more. I think Moses Moody's ready, and Kuminga's ready. I think both of those guys are ready. I think Steve Kerr just he was just psyching himself out with not playing the young guys. I mean, he figures, okay, I got to shorten this rotation. I got to put a better shooter out there in Moses Moody. But I think it frees up spots for Kuminga to grow. I think it frees up a spot for Moody to grow. It's
almost like
you get rid of Poole.
It's the give and take. It's like I want more 3-point shooting out there. Like he was banking on, hey, we're gonna shoot them out the gym. Like we gonna get killed in the paint. We gonna get killed on the paint and killed on the glass. But 3 is always gonna be more than 2. All we have to do is hit more 3s, and they make 2s, and they couldn't do it.
Yep, and that's the way. I mean, you live or die by the 3-point shot. We'll be back here later in the week breaking down some more stuff going on.
But real quick, shout out to Steve Kerr for actually, for what's the word I'm looking for not being for being a realist, for being realistic. Like he looked at this roster, like they lost. He said this team maxed out, and the current iteration of the Golden State Warriors, this year's Golden State Warriors, are not a championship team. Steve Kerr said that. People want to bash him and say, "What are you saying?" Like, no, he's the goddamn coach. He sees it every day.
Yeah. He got to build better habits. It started in the offseason. You saw the friction. It carried on into the regular season, and you got to build better habits. There were certain times where, you just saw it between Poole and Green. They just didn't like each other all season. I mean, there's no way I think that you keep both of those guys on the team next season.
Now, Jordan Poole is not without fault because hey, we see it all the time. A player gets his bag, all of a sudden he walking around like his ish don't stink. Like he walking like he ain't talking to the media, and if he do talk, he had one media session where he stood with his back towards the reporters. He answered every question facing away from them. It's like, bro,
why even bother?
It's not even that, bro. It's like, bro, who the hell do you think you are? Like,
it's take accountability.
Yeah,
it's like
when you get paid like that, you expect to perform in the playoffs. Take accountability. for not
It's like
playing well.
it's like who do you think you are? Like to turn your back on? Like, bro, I swear to God, hey, I say it all the time. The good Lord knew what he was doing, not making me go to the NBA, not making me go to ESPN. You turn your back on me, I'm turning you around. Like, hey, bro, like you gonna talk to me. You gonna talk to me.
Yeah, but thank you very much for joining us. This is our Western Conference Finals preview. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the episode. Tomorrow, we're going to be breaking down the XFL Championship. As congratulations to the Arlington Renegades, as they are the first XFL Championship champion. So congratulations to them.
Not the Bob Stoops, baby.
Yeah,
in very convincing manner, by the way.
Yeah. We'll talk about that tomorrow. On Tuesday, we're going to be breaking down the Eastern Conference Finals, and then on Wednesday, we're going to be talking a little bit about the NFL schedule, and then on Thursday, we're going to be bringing you some fantasy conversation, talking about them rookies and who's going to be good in fantasy for this year. You don't want to miss that content. Prime Sports will bring you the heat 24/7, gentlemen. What do we do here at the Prime, my friends? I know I just spoiled it, but
bring in the heat, son.
Let's go.
Fantasy.
Let's go,
baby. Fantasy.
We'll be back here tomorrow.
I can't wait for fantasy, baby.
Yeah, me too, man. Let's go.
I'm already.
I got my cheat sheet. I got all my cheat sheets ready to go.
I'm ready to go, baby.
I'll see you later, man.
Nice day, sir.
Peace out. And everybody out there, have a nice Mother's Day.